Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of the Stoppage Time Stooges. We're here. We got the one and only Jacob Aframian. We got the second and only Christian DeBlock. And we got the third and only Ricardo Martinez Paz.
Is this a power rankings?
And I'm the fourth and only Andrew Hard. Welcome, everyone. I'm sure that was the worst way possible to introduce everyone for the first time. But it's okay. We're just learning here.
That's right.
It's the first time we're all together hosting a podcast together. And this is going to be a podcast all about the beautiful game. Footy, football, soccer, whatever you want to call it. It's the beautiful game. That's the universal language. And we are 2 days away. We're recording this on Monday, September 18th. We're actually tomorrow, we are 1 day away from Champions League play. And guess what? Our first episode is all about previewing the Champions League. How are you guys feeling today?
Great.
That's wonderful, Jacob. I'm sure everyone...
Splendid.
Splendid. Good.
Good to be here.
Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant.
Real quick, I guess as a quick icebreaker, because we need to introduce ourselves somehow. Let's talk a little bit about our favorite clubs. And I feel like the one person to go to for this, right off the bat, hitting lead off, would be Jacob Aframian.
When you say talk about your favorite clubs, what do you mean? Like
just introduce who your favorite club is, favorite players. Just give a little icebreaker.
You mean like ever or like right now, like on that play for your
take it how you want to take it.
This is open for interpretation.
Alrighty then. Yes, I mean you don't have to read. You know what my name is, unless you're blind. You know what my name is. Watching this,
we also introduced you.
But. Yeah, I am a. I hate to say this way. Here's the camera. Proud fan of Chelsea FC. I say proud very loosely at this moment in time. How I became a Chelsea fan. I like the jersey. I like the crest, and I love Eden Hazard. So that's simple.
Incredible.
And before anyone thinks that, and no, I'm not a front runner. And again, you're a Chelsea fan? How could you be a front runner? I rooted for them the year before they won a title in the Premier League title in 14-15. It was like right around 13-14. I became a fan of them, and I've been a fan ever since. I'm not quit jumping ship, even though the team has no guts, glory, no soul. I mean, I guess I'm just gonna let it rip. Chelsea right now it's like if you were able to resurrect the Titanic, and it somehow still was working, and you see it yanked itself out of the sea. That's what Chelsea is right now, or whatever. They are an absolute mess. I mean, they spent £1 billion, or is it euros, pounds? I mean, who cares? But they spent all this money. They spent all this money just so they can get shut out against Bournemouth. They can get shut out against Nottingham Forest. They can score only more than one goal in a game unless it's Luton Town, who should be playing, who is so bad that they should be in the same league as Wrexham. That's how awful they are. And but no, it's okay because they want to have a young team and they want to give up long-term deals because we have to space the money out. They I don't understand all that money. You couldn't get one guy that could score goals. One. It doesn't matter if you have all the great defensive young midfielders in the world. It doesn't matter if you want to play with 3, 5, 10 center backs. It doesn't matter if you can't score. And I guess that's not popular if you want to sign guys that actually score goals. James Ward-Prowse, he only cost $40 million, but nope. Conor Gallagher, West Ham wanted to pay $50, and they said no. And James Madison
somehow took you off from Todd Bowley.
The phone stopped them.
All
I
right,
didn't think anything could stop
let's
me.
move here.
I think that's a good enough
Oh.
introduction.
All right, I guess I'm up next as the other person who doesn't have a Champions League side. So that's me. That's Liverpool. I've supported them since Stevie G's last game. That's the one I remember first. Them losing, I think it was 6-1 against Stoke City. Yeah, I've been a fan ever since. I actually was lucky enough to go to Anfield this summer, which the three of them know. Coolest experience ever, best match or sporting event ever I've been to. The atmosphere was remarkable. I guess my favorite player right now is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Big fan of Dominic Szoboszlai, which is on the back of this kit. And then if we're going back to the first early days of my supporting of the club, it was definitely Roberto Firmino. But yeah, I'm super excited for this podcast. Going to be a Liverpool fan for life, and we'll shift it over to the two others who have Champions League teams.
And Ricardo and I, we don't just only have two Champions League teams. I mean, we support the same Champions League team. That's right. We're both big Real Madrid supporters.
13-time Champions League winner.
13-time Champions League.
You don't need to remind us. It's all right.
I had to put it out there.
Yeah, I can't wait once they're in stock to order the new away Real Madrid away Vinny Jr. kit with the 13 Champions League patch. It's gonna be incredible, great stuff. But Ricardo,
It must be nice to have like something on the jersey. Forgive me for cutting up, but it must be nice. My team, their jersey, there's nothing on the jersey. This is not a practice jersey, folks. There's nothing on the jersey, and they think that's better. But I'm sorry. I apologize.
Jacob loves corporate sponsors.
I mean, Todd Bowley, all that money for some reason he can't get one sponsor. I mean, I can't blame all the possible sponsors in the world for not wanting to sponsor Chelsea. I completely understand why, but I mean, still, you couldn't get you. There's nothing. Who wants to buy that?
Shouldn't you feel more pride that he's funding that team without a sponsor?
You know what make me pride, Andrew? How about they win? How about that? How about they score one goal?
They sure will make you pride with that.
How about they can almost give me some hope? How about the striker that they signed hold on to the hold the ball at his feet when he's in the opposing zone? How about that? How about sign one guy who can finish? Just one.
Well,
I'm sorry, folks, for my damn home phone had to spoil my rant. Maybe that was a sign.
It was, yeah, to end it.
Yeah, it was a sign that my time ran out.
The CIA trying to cut you off.
But yeah, no, a fair player. I don't have one on this team right now.
Nope.
This Just team right now.
Reece James.
Actually, no. Reece James is my favorite.
Yeah, I was gonna say
he's been hurt. He's been hurt. Which is a common occurrence because it's like the alarm clock going off. It's like Reece James hurt again.
We'll have plenty of time to talk Chelsea. In fact, I think we're planning a segment every week where Jacob will go on a rant, and we don't know where those rants will lead us. We didn't expect it this early, but hey, we love it.
They may not. Excuse me, folks. They may not all be. They don't all have to be Chelsea rants. I do watch other teams.
He does.
Right.
He does. Watches other teams.
Plenty of rants to go around.
I can't wait. Including about his favorite player, Christian Pulisic, but we'll save that for another day. Ricardo, talk a little bit about yourself.
All right, Real Madrid fan since I was, pretty much out the womb, honestly. My dad's Vita. He was the main reason I'm a Real Madrid fan. So, my earliest days of remembering of watching was when it was still Gold TV, and that was the late 2000s, and I just had an old ass TV, and I remember Ronaldo was playing, the OG Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo, not Cristiano Ronaldo, the
better Ronaldo.
Better.
Wrong.
But yeah, no, and I've supported them since. My favorite player, I would say, is probably Jude Bellingham. I say "Hey Jude" all the time now because of him, and it probably drives people insane, like Jacob, who rolled his eyes. But
who's saying? What's that song from? What is it? The Beatles?
Yeah, it's the Beatles.
Oh, overrated.
This is not a debate about the Beatles.
At least you knew the band, unlike Colin Coward.
They're not the Stones, but please continue.
I'll throw in my favorite all-time player. I'd probably say this might be controversial. Sergio Ramos, because I was a defender when I was playing, so I'm on my game after him. Just not as dirty, and I didn't get red cards. So
He wasn't. When was he dirty?
Oh, come on.
Wait, when? I can't think of
Somebody's
anything.
shoulder was, in big trouble after somebody decided to pull it down.
yeah, sorry.
See, I don't have any names, so I don't. I need more evidence to prove the
The
point.
34 red cards wasn't enough for you.
34. I mean, how many years he played? Like 15. That's not that many.
That's actually a lot.
Well, I mean,
sorry, 28. I would.
That's
say
up for- that's up for-
Jacob's an EPL type of guy. So
He likes
used to-
physicality, and he
he
wants
likes
guys to get in
Yeah, I mean,
rules all the time.
I believe in Roy Keane soccer. That's what I believe in.
Oh man.
All right, I'll go very fast because I know we all want to talk Champions League. Andrew, right here. Favorite club is Real Madrid, or at least they're the club I've supported the longest. I didn't really have an EPL club. Like I was just kind of like, I wouldn't say bandwagon because I had some weird allegiances throughout the years. But right now I'm aligned to Brighton, and they're suddenly fourth on the Premier League table. So I'd like them to thank me for this happening. Can't wait for Europa League to start. We'll talk about that once it commences. But Real Madrid, it really spurred off, not really because I loved soccer at the time necessarily. One of my cousins was a doctor for Real Madrid, and like it kind of like interested me, and was like, oh, this is kind of cool, some familial connection. So I'd watch, and I got into it probably in 2013 or so is when I started watching Real Madrid. Then over the years, I got more and more understanding of the game, and the bigger the fandom I had, and I've been just a massive supporter since. Favorite player right now, I mean, I mentioned his name. I love me some Vinicius Jr. I love me some Vinny. I'm happy he's wearing the number 7. Better than that fraud Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, right.
You'll hear me go after Ronaldo a lot.
I think you're gonna say someone else, but
What did you think I was gonna say?
the last guy that wore that number.
Oh, okay. We won't talk.
No.
I'm repping him right now.
We won't
by
talk
the way.
about that. We won't talk.
One of the 5 greatest players to ever play for Chelsea. The people that know them referring to the great Eden Hazard, but
We won't talk. We won't talk about Hazard. Should have come to NYCFC, but that's a discussion for another day. But Real Madrid will be in the Champions League this season, unlike Chelsea and Liverpool. So I feel like that's a great transition to talk about the Champions League 23-24 season. Guys, let's discuss. I don't know. What do we want to discuss? Do we want
Should we go group by group?
Do you want to go group by group? All right, let's do that.
Oh boy.
So, all right. So we're going to start off with Group A. As you'll see below us, and I should have turned it off before, but I kind of forgot it was on. But hey, we'll keep it on the whole time. You'll see a taker of all the different groups and the different clubs in each group as the pod progresses and it's on loop. But Group A has Bayern Munich. It has Galatasaray. It has Copenhagen, right? It has Copenhagen. Yes. And, of course, Manchester United. Off to a shaky start this year, but let's talk about this group.
That's an understatement.
I think you'll find if this Champions League this season, that's a pretty common theme. A lot of these teams are off to shaky starts. We'll go through as we progress through the groups. But Group A, how are we feeling?
Oh, that's tough.
What team at the top is in more disarray? Sorry, you go on.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what team at the top is in more disarray, Man U or Bayern?
I think it's
That's
Man
what
U.
it comes down
Man
to.
U.
It is.
United,
It's absolutely
But
Man U. I think
Bayern-
Bayern clears this group.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be all. Oh, Jacob, maybe not.
I mean, are we forgetting who their manager is?
I know
Their team is
Yeah.
miles ahead of United, though, and I mean, unless somebody has.
I know
another
Thomas
team-
Tuchel's a terrorist, but I mean, you can't let your hate go. Bayern,
No.
Bayern, even though he single-handedly almost destroyed Bayern's season last year, I don't think he should have any problems getting out of this group.
Hansi Flick will be that's his name, right? Hansi Flick. He'll be the
Yeah.
manager by the middle of the year.
Wait, the Bayern manager?
Yeah.
Wasn't he?
He's out of the Germany job.
No, I know, but he was the Bayern manager before,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
He'll be back.
He was
So
the
you
one who
think
won the Champions League, right?
He's the good manager. Yeah.
Well,
Now with Germany,
kind of bounced
Well, I
out.
know. Yeah, but he was a great
Well,
club manager. And he said, no.
I think Germany has more problems than just the manager right now.
No, they do. Yeah.
Like they feature Kai Havertz every year.
Well, that's one of them.
Big one.
But no, I think Bayern clears. I don't think there's any. I mean, especially of how poor Man U is looking right now. I mean, just rough start in the Premier League. Right now, they currently sit 13th in the Premier League table. Of course, it's early in the year still, but the inconsistent play has them off to a rough start.
They have 10 players unavailable. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then all the
Jadon
background
Sancho stuff.
the Anthony stuff, like all of that is just a huge mess. So yeah, like they really don't have much talent, like outside of them.
They just make bad signings.
Way off the pace too, which isn't helping.
Like
Yeah.
Like I thought that the manager Eric Ten Hag last year, I thought he did a great job. I thought finally, man, you have a manager who's disciplined, no more BS. They're actually going to win. And this year, it's all coming down. I mean, they made signings. I mean, everyone thought that Andre Onana was a good signing. It seems like he's off to a rough start. Mason Mount already got injured. Casemiro is, he's not getting any younger. Bruno Fernandes is great and he's pretty good, but he can only do so much. The thing with him that puzzles me is that people think that he's getting better, yet he's scoring less goals and he's creating less chances.
Well, they had him playing center back.
Yeah, the other day they did.
They did?
Yeah, Ten Hag put him at center back.
I mean, Harry Maguire's not that bad.
That was.
I mean, no, I'm being dead serious. That's not even a joke.
No.
I mean,
don't say that about around Man U fans.
Well, I know it's a touchy subject, but I mean, I mean, the problem is that like they wanted Harry Kane, they got Rasmus Højlund. They have two guys in Jadon Sancho and Anthony who play the same position, who cost a fortune, and not one of them is very good at the moment
or available right now.
Yeah,
that too. For different reasons. And Marcus Rashford, listen, I like Marcus Rashford a lot, but there's just something missing with him. I don't know if it's a consistency thing or just, he can't play down the middle, but even when he's on the left, just like it's just like the team starts and stops with him. But the problem is that I don't know if he makes enough of an impact when he doesn't have the ball or he's not scoring goals. Bukayo Saka, when he doesn't always need to be scoring goals or even creating chances to make an impact on the team. And you see that with Arsenal. Marcus Rashford, I don't feel the same way about. And that's part of the reason why I don't like people want to compare him. Like, when's he going to, make that next step? I just don't know if he has it in him. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the truth. I mean, I just don't know if he has that next gear to be like one of the world's best players. I mean, he carried them last year for about like 3 months and it was pretty incredible. But eventually, he ran out of gas and so did, a lot of their team. And they just, they didn't fall apart, but they had a hard time sort of maintaining the great form that they had.
Well, kind of what you're.
No, what were you gonna say?
No, like kind of what you're alluding to. Like they need to find a set position for Marcus Rashford. You can't move him all over the place. You need to get him some consistency at one spot, and I feel like that's the problem right now. I think Eric Ten Hag was feeling himself a little too much. When Marcus Rashford was on his hot run, and like, hey, what if we put him over here in the right wing, or what if we put him as a false nine? You know, he was all over the place, and I feel like that kind of broke his groove. And I think you'll see that with a lot of players, but that's definitely a big problem for them, and it's definitely affected them early this year.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't even make it out of the group stage.
I agree. That's my bold take.
Galatasaray is like,
That's what I was gonna
sneaky
say.
good. Did they get Zaha?
They did.
They got a lot more than Zaha. They've had
I
a
know
lot.
that,
They've
but
got a
I'm
good
just
team.
yeah, they could be sneaky.
And Turkey's
Yeah.
environment is incredible. That atmosphere.
Yeah, it's a tough away game too.
It's gonna be a very tough away game. So I think Galatasaray.
And they have Hakim Ziyech. Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Tanguy and Ndombele. They signed Davidson Sanchez.
They have
I mean,
Icardi. They have Icardi, Mertens, and Zaha.
Yeah.
What is this? 2019?
They have Bakambu, Cedric. Oh, former
Wow.
VRL dude.
Yeah. No, we're gonna be talking about dark horses in a bit. I kind of
And they have Lucas Torreira. Oh my God, this really is the Premier League reject squad.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's probably good enough to at least come second.
I agree,
It
especially
is.
with Man U this much dysfunction. Now, of course, Man U's talent could come through, and maybe if this being the Champions League, they might try to play at another level. But I think the background stuff is just too much to overcome for them.
With that being said, though, I would not be surprised if they somehow pulled off some like miraculous 2-1 win at Bayern. Like no one sees it coming.
Oh, I agree. They
Some,
can win any
header,
given game.
85th minute.
Yeah.
Like when there was years ago, I think it was like Mourinho's last year where they were playing Juventus in a Champions League and they won like at the last minute. Remember he did that little thing where he plucked his ear out.
Yeah.
He made like that's like he's like I can't really do that face, but like
Yeah,
something reminiscent of that. I feel like could happen for them in one of these games.
I mean, I remember it was during lockdown, not lockdown, but it was the season after, and Marcus Rashford scored a winner at PSG in the first group game.
Yeah.
Penalty, right?
It
That
feels
was
like
like
that's something that's on the cards here.
That was like the Ole. That was when they had Ole and they really couldn't lose a game.
Yeah.
For like the first 3 months.
Yeah.
But I'm in agreement, Ricardo. I think Galatasaray could maybe sneak to second. I mean, if United just comes out slow again in their first couple games, I mean, there might be too big of a gap to make up, especially if they have to go play Galatasaray away, which it might get a point if that. I mean, it's difficult to see them getting 3 there. So they're going to have to take care of their business at Old Trafford. Otherwise, they will find themselves in the Europa League.
Yeah. I'm totally with you there. But.
Yeah. No, in regards to Copenhagen, it was nice knowing you.
Thanks for participating.
I think these 3 teams are heads and shoulders above Copenhagen. Now, you never know. It's the Champions League. Anything can happen, but got him 4th right now.
Yeah, look at what Sheriff did to Rel like 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. You never know. So can't count anyone out, even though I kind of just did.
We all did.
But no, so I think we're all in consensus agreement. Bayern top of the group.
Yeah.
And Galatasaray being a potential dark horse.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good summary of Group A. But Group B I think Group B is very interesting. Talk about dark horse groups.
Mm-hmm.
We got Arsenal. We got Lan from Ligue 1. We got PSV, and we got Sevilla. So how are you guys feeling? I mean, the Arsenal's off to a great start. We got PSV is off to magnificent start in the Eredivisie as well. I think PSV will actually win the Eredivisie this year. I think Feyenoord's going down. So, and Lan, they were in a tough battle for Ligue 1 last year of PSG. On the second Ligue 1.
Not going well.
Yeah.
No.
But how are you guys feeling about this group?
I think it's Arsenal's to lose.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
I agree with that. I don't think there's a clear team that's 4th. I think there's a clear battle between these three teams for the number 2 spot. Now, Sevilla is off to a pretty rough start
Horrible start
in La Liga. So, I mean, you could argue that, you know, in their current form, they could be 4th. But honestly, I think PSV is going to come out second. PSV has looked, and they just signed Chucky Lozano from Napoli. I think that's a very underrated signing for them, even though he was pissed at Ricardo Pepi for taking a penalty in his first match back with PSV. But what do you guys think about this group?
Yeah, I think it's what you mentioned. Arsenal's to lose. I don't think Lens is going to have a good season in terms of the league and the Champions League. I mean, they lost a lot of guys. Their starting striker went to RB Leipzig. I'm blanking on the name. Belgian. It starts with an O. Blanking on the name, but I think the fear for me for PSV is a lot of youth. And Sevilla, no matter how they are in the league, somehow manages to do well in Europe. Every season, it feels like. So I think even if Sevilla is struggling in the league, which they probably will for a large portion of time, this is a squad that's just old. It's the same team over and over again, year after year, and they somehow survive. I think Sevilla actually will get out of this group somehow. I think they will finish second because this is just a squad that somehow pulls out results when they need them. And I think PSV will be good in games, but the results won't resemble that, and I think they'll fall to the Europa League. So I think Sevilla will shockingly finish second somehow. I think PSV are the more talented squad, though.
Yeah, I mean, you go, Jacob. You go.
I said it before. I'll say it again. This is Arsenal's group to lose. The one thing I am interested in, though, is it's been a long time since they've been in the Champions League, which is something that not a lot of people are talking about. And I understand they have a lot of players that I think probably have some experience in it. I'm not entirely sure, but it's still going to be a different kind of challenge for them. So I'm interested to see how they handle it. I still think that they are far away, as far as from a talent perspective, you know, players, squad, the best in this group. But again, I still think that there is a level of intrigue there to see, you know, how they kind of handle it, because it's been a long time since they've been in the Champions League. You know, they spent a lot of years in the Europa League, and it's going to be interesting to see how they handle that kind of pressure, especially with the pressure that they already have to maybe win the Premier League, which is something that they have not done in a very long time. But I agree with you guys about Sevilla. I just think they'll be sneaky good. Whether, you know, how good they do in La Liga, to me, doesn't really matter in this regard, because I think that they find ways in Europe. And
Todd Bowley's back.
Todd Bowley trying to stop Jacob from talking. How about that? No, but Jacob, I'll continue his point with Arsenal. He makes a great point. You wonder how this is going to affect their league play this year in the Premier League, because, you know, they're used to, you know, resting their guys for Europa League. You know, they wouldn't play their big guys during Europa League matches. So you wonder how the added play is going to affect them and their form. I think they'll be fine. They got one of the most talented rosters in this Champions League. So they should do well. They should come out of this group first. It's interesting to see where they go in the knockout stages, though. That'll be intriguing.
I just want to say, Sevilla, I swear, like, even if they don't get out of the group, they're going to go on and win the Europa League if it's not Liverpool. But, I mean, they always do that.
Playing.
Yep. It's true. It's true.
Don't sleep on Sevilla and Europa League. Those two go well. So
they can stay in the Champions League, man.
I mean, if they have played Liverpool in the Europa League, I'll root like hell for Sevilla. I'm just gonna put
we know. We know.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if it went either way, really. If Sevilla got knocked out or they made it through, they're going to be second or third. There's no way they end last. I don't think.
I think you guys are kind of underrating PSV here. I think PSV, Luke de Jong, is still in a solid shape. He's a little older, but he's still doing well as a striker. He's their captain. The three Americans, I mean, Malik Tillman and Ricardo Pepi have been relegated to the bench, but Serginho Dest is off to a solid start right back after getting pretty much, ousted by Xavi. which I mean, shouldn't come as a shock when you watch.
Tell us how you really feel, Andrew.
We'll save it. We'll save it. One of the biggest whiners in our beautiful game, but I think right now Javi's a bigger whiner than Jose Mourinho, and that's saying something.
Not hearing a lot from Jose.
Saying a lot.
Mourinho
Not saying,
right now.
That's because he's got Romelu
He's got his guy.
Lukaku and
Yeah,
Abraham.
he's got his guys. But no, I think PSV has a solid shot in being second in the group. However, I wouldn't be shocked if Sevilla somehow just makes a crazy run, becomes second. I don't think there's a clear fourth, as I said, in this group.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun to watch. But Arsenal should, if Arsenal doesn't finish first, something to watch.
Oh yeah.
Moving on to Group C, we got the 13-time Champions League winners.
I don't hate Real Madrid, so this doesn't bother me.
Well,
No, I know. It's just,
I actually consider them one of my like almost like my second favorite team. But I don't know, I'm being dead serious here. I mean,
he loves blue.
No, I mean, I remember when I was young, all I knew is Ronaldo and Messi, and I go, man, I'm picking Ronaldo. So it was that simple. I love Gareth Bale. I've always had an affinity for Real Madrid. Yeah, but he left on them because he's not an idiot.
Oh, but he came back.
And he won the minute he left. And he scored not one, but two of the greatest goals in the Champions League final history ever.
Let's
One of them
about that.
There, yeah.
No, I think we'll save that one for another day.
Okay, potential discussion topic. But we got Real Madrid. We have last year's Serie A winners in Napoli. We got Union Berlin. And we got Braga. How do we feel about this group?
Braga? Ooh. Where's that?
Portugal.
Portugal, yeah.
I mean, I think the clear favorites are Real Madrid and Napoli. I'm just Union Berlin. What is this their first time? Is it the first time in their history?
I think it is the first time.
Yeah, I believe so.
So, I mean, they were what, third last year, fourth, second?
Yeah, they were top
four
at one point, I think.
Yeah, they were, and they kind of fell off a little at the end.
Last year they were fourth.
Yeah, so I mean, they're a decent squad. It's just I don't think they have anywhere near as much talent, as the other two teams I just mentioned. And Braga, I mean, I don't even know that many players in that squad, to be honest. But
I'd be lying to you if I told you I watched the Portuguese league.
Let me double check, but I think they have they got two veterans of this competition, John Matinho and Jose Font. So that I didn't even know either of those players were back in Portugal. So, I mean, those are two guys that could lead their squad to a couple of good results.
Potentially, but
I mean, I don't see it either. But I mean, they at least they have some people who are experienced in the competition.
Yeah,
it's a good point.
Yeah. I mean, Real Madrid should come away top of the group. I mean, let's be honest.
They should, and they
better.
should.
That's all I'm saying.
Come on.
They don't.
Now, Napoli intrigues me. We just said they sold Chucky Lozano back to PSV. Victor Osimhen's still there. We'll see what happens to him in the winter. So that'll be something to look at if Napoli progresses.
Chelsea.
What in doubt?
You know, there's no one that wears number 9 for Chelsea right now.
Yeah, everyone knows.
Be him. Trust me, it won't be Victor.
He's only 24, which means he's actually not. He's not too old yet for a Todd Bowley team. He's only 24 years old.
He's not going to leave for Chelsea. He would never. No idiot would do that.
They've been plenty in the past, my friend.
Yeah, you're right.
I want to thank you again for 110 mil, but
I'm sure Kalidou Koulibaly will give him a ringing endorsement about how great it is to play for Chelsea.
I forgot he was on the team.
He's not
Oh,
anymore.
no, he's
but-
not. Yeah,
No,
I
he's
forgot.
one of the 1,000 players that went to Saudi Arabia.
But you know
Oh,
what?
yeah. Oh, that's how irrelevant he is.
As
Yeah.
uneventful and uninspiring as his play was last year, he still gave us that great goal off that corner against Tottenham. Even
I
though
was
they
gonna say,
drew that
yes,
game,
that was his.
they
his
drew
only
that game
moment.
because Anthony Taylor didn't, Kukureya's hair got freaking yanked. But no, it's not a foul. No.
That's your favorite referee, right?
Me and Jose Mourinho. Yeah,
No,
love Anthony Taylor.
I'll take this time to also point out that Brighton sold Cucurella for 66 mil, and then proceeded to sign Estupinian for 17 mil.
So good.
So
And Cucurella was almost on the outs this summer. I don't know how he
Well,
didn't.
we didn't need him when we got him anyway. That was the whole damn thing. That made no sense. You don't need Cucurella. Chilwell's fine. I mean, he has the armband when Reece James, which is is never on the field anyway, isn't playing. And he's an England international, although so is Conor Gallagher, but still, and Harry Maguire.
the
So,
captain, Conor Gallagher.
That's right.
But anyway, yeah, Real Madrid, they don't win this group, then I'd be worried.
It's a disgrace.
No,
Let's be honest,
I'd be
Ricardo.
worried.
It's a disgrace if they don't win this
Well,
group.
if they don't come first, they're coming second, but they're not.
Oh no, I agree, but it's a disgrace if they don't win this group. I don't
I
care.
agree with that. Yeah, they
Don't
should.
care.
It'd be interesting to see Bellingham in the Champions League. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he played. Dortmund's in the Champions
Dortmund,
League.
yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
they were. So, but bigger stage.
Especially if
bigger
the
teams.
hot scoring start Bellingham's been on. So we'll see if that translates to Champions League play.
I think
But
the one question for me, just touching on Napoli, is they did lose some key guys. The center back who went to Bayern.
Oh yes.
Yep.
You have Osimhen, who's still there and didn't get his move yet, but they are a little weaker, I would say.
Yep.
Two iffy results in the league. They lost to Lazio at home, and then they just drew Genoa, who they were up.
Yeah.
Genoa was up 2-0. They needed 2 late goals to equalize and get a draw, but I think Berlin's going to have a little difficulty just because, as you guys mentioned at the top, this is their first time in the competition. But I wouldn't be surprised if Napoli keeps it close, like we're to the point where we get to the match day 6, and Napoli needs a win to
That's fair.
get through it. I think Napoli's going to be a team, I think, that gets to the knockouts and then loses in the round of 16 to a team that's either at the same level or maybe even a slightly worse.
Yeah.
I think Napoli's going to have a difficult season in the Champions League.
that's about where I rate them too. It's also, I think, going to be a more competitive Serie A this year. And so we'll see how that goes for Napoli. Right now, as of this recording, they're currently 5th in the Serie A table. So we'll see. Group D, we have the Portuguese power in Benfica. We have Inter. We have Real Sociedad. I butchered it again. I always can't say Sociedad. Sociedad. I always butcher Sociedad for no reason. And Sociedad. And RB Salzburg. I can say that. How are we feeling?
I think this is Inter's group to lose. Just to quickly touch on a couple of the teams. Salzburg last season, I mean, we remember they got to the round of 16. I think they got a good result against Bayern in the first leg and then just got completely dominated against them on the opposite leg.
Yeah.
Salzburg, to me, too young. I mean, they're always having those young players that then move for bigger clubs. But I mean, they lost Noah Okafor to AC Milan. Sesko went to Leipzig. So they just don't have enough to me to threaten the other teams. Sociedad's the most interesting team to me in this squad. They play pretty attacking football. I mean, you guys probably saw them. They played Real Madrid pretty close this weekend.
Very, very close.
Too close for comfort.
Kubo is one of the best young players in the world, I would say. 22, being linked to a lot of big teams. I think he's going to have a really good campaign in the Champions League. So for me, I know Benfica's done a lot of good work in the Champions League over the last, half decade, but I think Inter for me, and then I think Real Sociedad is going to be one of those surprise teams in this competition. So I got them getting through.
Yeah, Sociedad's definitely tough competition. They're definitely a team, one of my teams I think will do better in Champions League play than La Liga play. I don't think their position in the table says much if you've actually watched them play. Very gritty team. I think they'll translate well to European play. Salzburg has gotten better in the Austrian league, but I don't think they're going to be much of a competition, especially the Inter and Benfica. But yeah, we talked about the last two groups really being groups to lose for Arsenal and Real Madrid. This is Inter's group to lose. Jacob, any thoughts from you?
I would agree with what you just said lastly about Inter. This is their group to lose. I look at their squad and they're loaded. They're loaded from top to bottom. And there's a reason why they got to the final last year. And I think that they got a good shot to be back there. I think they have a really good squad. I think they're very deep. They've been there before. And they have a lot of guys, again, that they're battle tested. And they're battle tested on the international stage. They're battle tested in the club stage. I just think that they're going to be a tough team. I think that the other teams in the group are interesting. I think they'll put up some good fights. But to me, I would be shocked if Inter did not come out on top of this team. But Benfica, we know they've always been, frisky team that, has always hung in there. They've always, they have Di Maria now, so that'll be interesting. He's certainly someone, I know he's older, but he is someone that is the definition of battle tested. He's been in many, many Champions League games. Mm-hmm. And I just think that they'll be a tough out as well. But again, Inter to me is loaded. I think they're one of the 5 best teams in the Champions League. And again, I think that they got a really good shot of being back in the final.
And we talk about all these teams that are selling players. Inter still has their key guys. Lautaro Martinez, of course, Angel Di Maria's countryman, is still tearing it up for Inter. And really, they're only like very notable loss so far. Lukaku, but
yeah. They lost Skriniar as well.
Skriniar, I forgot about him.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yep.
And Onana, right?
And Onana, yes.
That's of course. Yeah, we're just talking about him earlier.
Jan Sommer's a solid keeper.
I agree. That's why I still feel pretty good about them.
Yeah.
I think it's also good. I'll quickly mention this. I think one of the best signings of the summer across Europe was Marcus Thuram on a free.
Yes.
I think he's looked really good. Despite having to play along a new partner because they lost Edin Dzeko and Romelu Lukaku and Joaquin Correa. All 3 of them.
Yeah.
All left. Lautaro and Thuram have linked up pretty well. They did some great work against AC Milan this weekend. If that duo can, combine for a really good Champions League season, Jacob's right. This team has the experience, the coach, a lot of veterans. This team could get back to a final. I would not be surprised.
Yeah. I'll just add Benfica. I feel like my prediction is Benfica will be second, just because I feel like, I think Jacob, you were touching on it. They're a frisky team and they've kind of been there. But last year it was against PSG, right? I think they played them. What was it? Didn't they get first in the group? I can't remember. Was it last year that they did?
PSG stink in the Champions League.
Okay, so it was.
No, it's impressive. I'm just saying, they're allergic to having
You're saying
success.
Inter finished first?
Yeah, Inter first, and then
Benfica. Yes, Group H. They both had 14 points. They both had a positive 9 goal difference, but Benfica had the tiebreaker.
That's what it was. Yeah, because I remember watching it at some point, and I was like, "Wow, Benfica did it," because they won like 6-something in the last match day or something like that. But I would say Benfica over Real Sociedad because they've been there. Real Sociedad hasn't been there since it's been a decade since they've been in the competition. So lack of experience might play a factor in this. So,
but Sociedad will give them tough matches. They're not going to be your typical bottom of the group team. I think I think this is going to be a tough group. No matter where you are, but Inter should win this. I agree completely with Benfica's experience. And Salzburg, thanks for coming out. But moving on to Group E. Ricardo, I hate to say them, but Atletico Madrid.
This group is
I hate to say them.
I don't know if I call it fun.
It is a tricky group. We got Celtic, Feyenoord.
Is Brendan Rodgers their manager again? Or no?
Let's see.
I don't know.
Didn't he go back to Scotland?
It is.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think he's still there. Yeah.
All right, they're winning Group E. No, I'm just kidding.
They're coming last. No,
I'm kidding. I'm joking.
No, I mean, Lazio is off to an awful start in Serie A right now.
Yeah.
Talk about teams that haven't been off to great starts. Feyenoord, I mean, still in Eredivisie power. I mean, Atletico should win this. I mean,
Yeah, you're not going to be able to score on them with Simeone.
Yeah,
they'll win every game 1-0.
Exactly.
That's
and it doesn't matter. It'll be the ugliest way
they're
possible.
scoring a bit more.
They have been, yeah.
They
Probably
scored
because they don't have
against Vallecano.
That's because João
August
Felix.
28th.
That's because João Felix doesn't play for them anymore.
Well, we'll get to touch on him in a little bit, but
yeah, yep.
Bum.
Very sad.
But they also just lost, didn't they, to Valencia? No,
yeah. So
they're so inconsistent. It's so weird with them.
I think honestly, for me, just looking at this, Lazio really intrigues me. I know they've gotten off to a rough start, but ironically, they got a win against Napoli. Their only win in Serie A is against Napoli. They lost to Lecce,
that is really
Genoa, and their last loss against was, I believe it was Juve. And their only win was against the team that won the league last year. Just doesn't make any sense, but I think their squad's really deep.
They have a lot of really interesting players.
Surprisingly deep. I mean, they signed Guendouzi, who's been a really solid midfielder since leaving Arsenal. I mean, they got guys like Ciro Immobile, who's been there, done that for a long time. I know they've lost some players. Milinkovic-Savic went to Saudi Arabia, but they got a deep squad, I think, that can really threaten Atletico Madrid if they're off the pace, which I think is certainly possible. I think, shockingly, I think Lazio somehow tops this group. I know they've gotten off to a rough start, but Atletico Madrid, for me, too inconsistent. They got a lot of aging players. Just doesn't fit right for me. I think they'll get through, but I think Lazio shockingly wins this.
You guys want to know my favorite player in Lazio?
I know mine is.
We might share.
Oh, it's Tati Castellanos.
Of course.
No. Oh, that's not mine. Not in court. No.
NYCFC legend.
I went through the squad.
Oh my God, Jacob's a fake NYCFC fan.
Yeah, I am.
At least he's honest.
Yeah, I am.
Wasn't there for the cup.
What cup?
Oh.
I have never claimed to be an MLS fan.
There's a banner in Yankee Stadium.
Probably, I mean, the Yankees aren't going to be putting up any banners anytime soon, so it makes sense.
He's somehow
no, my favorite player. I mean,
teams.
Lazio has Pedro Rodriguez, the
All
great
right,
Pedro, who's won every trophy ever. Great at Barcelona.
Right.
No, I'm serious. I mean,
No.
I mean, and he's somehow only. I thought he was like 40. He's only 36 years old. I mean, again, great at Barcelona. He was great at Chelsea. I have a lot of good memories of Pedro. And it makes sense with him being with Sarri again, who he's not everyone's cup of tea, but he'll get a result. There's no, I mean, he's not at Juventus anymore. It's not like he has any immense pressure from a board that's going to, undermine him every 2 minutes. He'll be fine. And again, they have Felipe Anderson. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Luis Alberto. Guendouzi we talked about.
They signed Kamada from Frankfurt.
And they got didn't they sign another guy from the Bundesliga? Am I blanking on the name? Maybe a different club. That's all right. I think I'm thinking of a different guy, but I mean that's a really good signing too. I think that was on a free.
Sorry, I'm just checking.
Might have been.
But no,
I remember there's so many transfers to keep track.
Yeah, that's true.
But no, for me, I like what was it? I like Atletico and Lazio to be at top of the group. I kind of like Christian's take about maybe Lazio edging them out. I think there's something to that. I think it's possible. I think, but the way Atletico play, it's hard to say that you trust them or you can rely on them. But again, with Simeone, Diego Simeone being their manager, you just think that they'll find a way. That they always do. Yeah. It doesn't matter how it looks. They have a pretty deep squad, if you ask me. They got a lot of guys that, again, we talked about, like with Inter being battle tested. I would say that certainly falls in the same category for Atletico Madrid. And yeah, I think they'll be a tough out. I think that I would not be surprised if they got far in this competition, maybe like final 8.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give Feyenoord some love. I mean, even though I did say they're not going to be top of the table to Eredivisie this year, I mean, Santi Jimenez is off to another hot start from 6 goals already in the Eredivisie season. You never know. I think they're the weaker team in this bunch. Well, really Celtic is, I think, but
yeah.
I rate Feyenoord a little above Celtic.
Yeah,
but,
me too.
But I agree with you guys. It should the top of the group should be Atleti, and right after them Lazio.
Yeah, for sure. I'm in agreement there too.
All right, moving on to Group F.
The best group.
Here we go.
The best group.
The group of death.
Time to have fun.
The craziest group we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Are we sure about ever?
Yes.
No, I'm just saying, like, there's never been a crazier group in years.
Okay, I can hold on. I'll go back. I went down a rabbit hole because I was just like, okay, group of deaths. I looked through. I'm like, when was like the last few times there were like 4 teams that could all get out of it? I mean, the most recent one was 2 years ago. Liverpool. I mean, it was Liverpool's group: Atletico, Porto, and Milan. That was probably the most recent one. Yep. I mean, you go back even further. 2015, 2016 Group B was Man City, Juventus, Sevilla, Gladbach. 2013, 2014 Dortmund, Arsenal, Napoli, Marseille. 2012, 2013 Dortmund, Real, Ajax, Man City. 2011 was Bayern, Napoli, Man City, Villarreal. So, I mean, like, those are pretty tough too. But
some rabbit hole you went down.
I was bored. I was like, listen, let me just look up.
It's good information.
No, I know. I was kind of like sitting there like, wow.
I was like, there are a lot of 3 like groups with 3 teams that could have made it out, but I was like, there aren't as many with 4.
Yeah.
Like, this is such a rare thing that literally any team could make it out of this group.
Yeah. I mean, right now, I mean, Newcastle probably rate the lowest, but that's not. I mean, this is.
I got a hot take.
And PSG, I think PSG won't do too well, but I have a feeling you might be going
that's
there.
something I can get behind.
Newcastle's making it out of this group.
Oh, that's not hot.
You don't think that's a hot take?
No, that's hot. That's hot. That's hot.
I think it is.
That's hot.
Is it though?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Christian, I want to hear who you think is gonna.
Well, because I don't care. Like, listen, no one's talking about this. Their Premier League schedule so far has been ridiculously hard.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Like, they played Brighton, they played Manchester City, they played Liverpool, right?
Yeah.
And they played
Villa. Yep.
Villa. I mean, they played like a lot of the really good teams in the Premier League. I mean, they've gotten a pretty tough, somewhat unfair draw so far, and I think that they're going to be fine. And I understand Eddie Howe has never managed in the Champions League, and a lot of these players probably never played in the Champions League. But I don't know. I think that they can make noise. I don't love Dortmund.
No, I don't either.
And I don't love PSG. I don't.
Dortmund got weaker.
They did. Yeah.
And did PSG get stronger?
No. They got no.
I mean, they got Asensio.
Dembele.
They got
Dembele too.
Oh yeah, I forgot that they got Dembele.
Yeah, Gonzalo Ramos. You said yeah.
Kolomuani.
Yeah,
they got him too.
That's a bunch of forwards though. That's a bunch of attackers. Their midfield still. I mean,
but they still Mbappe.
They lost Verratti, yeah, but like, I mean, their midfield I feel is weaker.
Yeah.
I just think in terms of
it's
talent,
different.
PSG is has the most.
Yeah.
It's more about the cohesiveness of
Who's
that.
being serious?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, knowing PSG, they're gonna make it out of the group.
That's
I
what
mean,
I'm saying.
they fall apart later.
Are they? I don't know.
They
will.
save collapse for when it matters the most, and
Which is the knockout stages.
Yeah, and we're not
That's
there
what they
yet.
do.
Enrique is a buttoned-up guy. He's very serious.
Sure.
I don't think I understand that his back's against the wall with some of the cards he's been dealt with, Neymar being gone, but I think that they're going to be fine. I mean, I'm not crazy about AC Milan. I'm not crazy about Dortmund. I'm just not. I don't know.
I feel like Milan will make it out of the
I'm
group.
very high on Milan this
I'm
year.
not.
I would put them over Newcastle right now
I agree.
with the talent they have. Captain America, or as one of our friends likes to say, Captain
Oh.
Italy, but
Yeah.
you got Leao too. I mean,
Yeah.
Giroud is
Jacob's
still
got
bad.
Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
Yeah, like they have good players. I mean,
They do.
Tomori,
No, I'm not denying that. I just.
back, and Magnon. I mean, he's a great keeper. I love him.
Calabria.
Oh wait. Do they have Real Madrid legend Luka Jovic?
No,
no,
Jovic,
No, I thought they did.
no.
They do.
Oh no, sorry. He did come
He
in
was
as
with Fiorentina last year.
Yeah, I was thinking he was at Fiorentina last year.
Yep.
He has had
Yeah,
a
so-
terrible downfall over the last 5 years, ever since he left Eintracht Frankfurt the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they signed Reinders too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually think there's a shot to me. I know Milan's got a lot of bad stock just because of what happened this weekend in the Milan derby, but I think there's a shot they could win the group. I know that's probably
This is hard because I honestly as well I think that they could have a tough time. I do think that they could win the group also. Because this group is so stacked. I'm just gonna put it out right now. I think Dortmund's finishing last. I'm just gonna put it.
I'm with you.
I honestly think Newcastle are better than them. I just do. I like Newcastle a lot. I think they're really good. I don't think that their season last year was a massive fluke. I really don't. I think if you look at their squad,
Newcastle is serious talent.
they have a legitimate squad.
Absolutely.
And I think that they'll fight. Eddie Howe's teams always fight, and I think that they will in the Champions League. And I think that they may have a chip on their shoulder, thinking, everyone thinks that we're the worst team in this group. Everyone thinks that we're a fluke. Everyone thinks that we're this. Let's go out and show that we're not. And but this is the group of death, so to speak, if you have to pick one to be.
Yeah.
But again, it's tough. I think that Milan certainly has a very good squad, deep squad. PSG, despite all the turmoil and how awful their ownership is, I think they'll find a way out. And so it's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun to watch. I'll leave it at that.
By the way, when I should have prefaced this earlier. When I said Newcastle fourth, I just meant brand recognition. Because Dortmund is clearly, I think, the worst team in this group.
Yes.
Just after losing that much talent, and your best players are only getting older. But
and then they have young players who are inconsistent.
The young players are hurt. So we'll see. But I think Milan comes out at the top of this group. And I think PSG finds a way to be second, and then they're going to get knocked out, of course, in the knockout stage. But I do think PSG is way too talented to not get out of this group.
They are.
But Newcastle will give a fight. Isak actually just came out. Isak is being linked to Barca.
No, please no.
Yeah, I would not like that at all.
I mean, if you're going to ruin your career, just come to Chelsea.
No, he'd rather ruin his career with Xavi instead.
I know, your favorite manager.
But no, it'll be tough. But I mean, Milan and
so
PSG,
fun to watch.
It'll be very, very fun to watch.
Just to quickly touch too, I think a lot of discourse about this Newcastle side is that they can't play when teams pack in 8 or 9.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to break them down. I think that actually will benefit them in this group because there are teams. Dortmund's just going to play wide open in the counters. There's just so much space when they play in the Bundesliga. I think we're going to see more of that. PSG is going to try to dominate, so Newcastle will get to play on the counter. Maybe the only team they won't get that opportunity against is Milan, who, obviously in Serie A, it's more possession-based. But I think Newcastle, like you mentioned, Andrew, is going to give them a run for their money, but they will probably finish in that Europa League spot, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I think something else to mention with Dortmund is they haven't been scoring. Like, they don't know how to find goals at all. So, if you can't score goals in the Champions League, I mean, come on.
I mean, they're going to need Haller to have a.
I mean, Atletico Madrid's proven he can't score you can still move on by not scoring goals in the Champions League.
I hate to bring the team that I root for into this again, but even Graham Potter's Chelsea scored goals in the Champions League against Dortmund.
Guy.
They did lose to Dortmund. Oh no, they lost the first leg. Sorry.
Yeah, they won the second leg, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, and then everyone thought, Sorry, your team embarrassed us when what was it when was it Chalaba tried to have this awful slide tackle and then Rodrigo just jumped over him like a freaking gazelle and that was it. Don't get me started.
Oh man. So I guess that's it, Group F. So I guess it's to be determined, which I think we all agree on.
Yeah.
Group F. But I think I rate Milan very well, so I hope they get out. Group G, we got a Crvena Zvezda from Serbia. Can't believe I actually pronounced.
Nice knowing you. Nice knowing you.
Knowing you.
I don't know. I don't know a damn thing about them. I couldn't name one player. I don't know.
I can tell you, we lost to them at Red Star when we last saw them in the Champions League. I remember that. That is one of the toughest places to go in Europe.
Liverpool?
Yeah.
Oh, so all right.
The season won the Champions League.
See, now I have a different newfound love for them. I'll tell you what, young boys, I don't know a damn thing about them except that they're in this tournament every year. They'll beat
young boys.
City. They'll beat City like 1-0 at home. They will.
They
That'll
did
be the
beat
only game that
United
they
last
win.
time.
Yep.
They'll beat some
Peacock
team
scored.
like 1-0. But yeah, City's group to lose. I mean, Leipzig. I mean, they have this.
They're going to be second
guy.
Leipzig's going to be happy they're in this group because the last time they saw them in the knockout stages, they got obliterated. So they won't have to face them coming out of the round of 16. So that's a really good plus for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just we didn't officially introduce the two others in the group, but
Sorry.
Man City and RB Leipzig with the Bundesliga. I mean, come on now.
It's pretty straightforward. I feel like
I think this is the easiest group to predict.
Yes.
1 through 4. I think it's Man City, Leipzig, Young Boys, and then Crvena Zvezda. But
I would not be surprised if Young Boys made noise and somehow.
I agree completely.
Yeah.
Came out second. I don't love this Leipzig side. I mean, other than the two attackers, Simmons and this fraud named Timo Werner.
No, I mean Danny Olmo. Danny Olmo.
Danny Olmo. They won.
They just signed Xavi Simmons.
Yeah,
they also lost Guardiola to the City.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
They're vulnerable. They also could potentially be a little shock team coming out of the knockout stages too. I mean, they have a lot of attacking talent.
Yeah,
they do.
Benda, who I mentioned before from Lens. Simmons is maybe the most gifted teenager in Germany. I mean, he's up there as with Musiala. I mean, those are two gifted guys. Simmons could have a really good year. I'm actually surprised that PSG didn't retain him. I know they have a lot of attacking guys, so there's not many minutes for him, but this is a really dangerous team, but also one, like Jacob mentioned, that could somehow fall out of this group and finish in the third spot.
Going back to Xavi Simmons for a second, that whole buyback clause situation with him was hilarious. I don't know if you guys kept up with that. But he was on loan with PSV last year.
Yep.
And they PSV activated the buy clause in the contract, and PSG basically negated it. But the only way PSG could retain him, and I believe the fee was only €1 million or something.
I thought it was like 4 million. Like really,
yeah, maybe it's 4 million. It's very low. But the only way PSG could retain him was if he agreed by July 30th that PSG could retain him. And so, duh. He was like, yeah. And so PSG bought him back. But yeah, no, I think Leipzig is gonna be an underrated, sneaky team in the knockout stages. I agree completely with Christian's take there.
Yeah.
I mean, Man City, of course, the reigning Champions League winners. Yeah. Very depressing.
See, I appreciate City for what they are, and they're the Warriors of the. They're like what the Golden State Warriors were at their peak to soccer.
I don't want to hear that.
No love.
Well, it's true.
And Christian Pulisic is the LeBron James of soccer. What's next?
Didn't Cowherd say that? Who said that?
No, it was. I forgot who said it.
I
I know someone said that.
I did see someone walking to Stamford Bridge. It was a photo on Twitter with a number 10 kit that was customized with the LeBron James of soccer as the name on the back. But no, I Jacob made an astute point earlier. I want to go back to Young Boys. I think Young Boys is gonna have like a shocking win over.
They will
either Leipzig or Man City. They're gonna have a shocking win over one of them. But I don't think they're gonna finish any higher than third.
And I don't think it's gonna be that shocking if they beat Leipzig. I really don't.
Really?
I'm not.
It's a shock, but I mean, I can see what he's saying. I mean, this is a young team. With a lot of guys.
I don't love Leipzig. I just don't. Other than the attacking players, I just don't feel that good about them. I don't think that not much pops out to me. I mean, they may be good for the German league, but I don't know. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. Nagelsmann's not there anymore.
Marco Rose is pretty good, though, I would say.
Okay. I mean, he's not Nagelsmann, but
I think they're happy with Marco Royce.
Okay.
Not convinced.
I just don't care enough, to be honest with you. I don't care.
Anyways, I'm sorry.
Move on to Group H.
I guess we move on to Group H. Great. We had to save the worst for last. Javi's FC Barcelona squad. Yeah, they're there. But we got my guys, FC Porto from Portugal. Porto is always going to find a way in. We got Royal Antwerp from Belgium. And, of course, Jacob's favorite feeder club, Shakhtar from Ukraine.
I think they're going to come in second.
Wow,
that's bold.
That is hot take.
I couldn't name one player on the team, and I don't care because
even though they're playing games in Poland.
So, I mean,
okay.
I think they finished third. I think
I just think that they're sneaky. They're one of these sneaky teams that I think that they could cause chaos.
They definitely can. They haven't.
And I don't care if I can't name any of their players. I really don't. Because,
hey, you know who used to play for them?
Yeah, Mudryk. Yeah.
Well,
exactly. Willian played there.
Willian was there, yeah.
Chelsea great, and Douglas Costa played there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about that for your fun facts?
Not that matters now, but
I mean,
trip back memory lane,
I'm sure all three of you know this, and for those who are watching, Royal Antwerp's in the news for the wrong reasons, at least with the U.S. community, with not registering Sam Vines, who's been a really big part player for them. I think Shakhtar finishes third. I think Antwerp finishes last. But Porto, another Portuguese side that consistently wins in this tournament. finds a way to get to the knockout stages most years. I think Barca is an interesting team. Not necessarily one of the favorites, but one of the teams that, if they can put it together, maybe makes a run. I think some people are overrating them. Others are underrating them. Kind of properly rated, one of those like second-tier teams in Europe. I think Barca is one of the more interesting teams in this tournament, though, just because, this is a team that's consistently won in this competition for many years. And Xavi's finally got them back to a level where they're respectable. But if they're going to do anything, they need Lewandowski to stay healthy, and they need their midfield really to be healthy. Pedri needs to be on the field time and time again. Gundogan needs to be there. But, they're playing Romeu, who I'm sure many of you guys remember. He was at Southampton. This guy's a huge step up to be their 6. Frankie de Jong. They're missing some guys that they've left who have left the club recently, but they're an interesting team. I'll put it that way.
Ansu.
I think. Listen, I don't think Ilkay Gundogan gets his flowers enough. I think he's one of the best players in the world. To me, I'd sign him for a blank check. I really would. I think he's that good. I don't care how old he is. To me, he can do everything. He can score goals. He can pass the ball. He can defend. He really is a complete midfielder to me. And I think him leaving City is a big blow. I really do.
Yeah.
Because I just think he's super valuable, and he's a leader. I think he has great leadership qualities, and I think that was a terrific signing for Barcelona. Him and De Jong together in a midfield, I think, is a very good partnership. And if they throw in Gavi or Pedri, whoever they throw in, it's a good nucleus. But those two is in particular makes up a good midfield. And they're Barcelona. And I think that they're relatively back after all their chaos with the board. Having sacrificial lamb managers like Ronald Koeman and just like not having any direction. I think that they're past that now. I think that everyone's on the same page there. And I think that they're going to be a threat. And I just think obviously they still have a lot of guys that are, have been in this competition before. You mentioned Ter Stegen, many other guys as well. Like, I think them losing Dembele was a loss. I kind of wish that he stayed because I don't love him being at PSG because the French league is so not just bad. And I'd like him. I think he should have stayed, but they only got him for 50 million, which is absurd to me. But top Oli, they couldn't pay that kind of money. But
hey, Barca's got one of your favorite Chelsea former players.
Yes.
Christensen. Marcus Alonso. No, I actually love Marcus Alonso.
Great pivot.
Marcus Alonso.
Hey, Andres Christensen.
Yeah.
What's funny is that as bad as he was in the beginning, and don't forget when Chelsea played Barcelona, when he basically assisted Messi on one of his goals at Stamford Bridge, but I'm not going to go there. I think he's turned into a pretty solid center back, and good player. And they got Jules Koundé, who should be at Chelsea, but that's another story.
God, that's so annoying.
I forgot that.
Oh, you think you're annoyed? Oh yeah.
Relax.
We have all the center backs in the world, so I guess we don't really need another one.
Yeah, exactly. What are you complaining about? I'm complaining because he's on Barca, but
I'm complaining because my team can't score a goal. That's why.
Okay, well, center back's not going to solve that. So
I know, but can someone tell it to the stupid board? I don't know what happened to scoring goals being the most important thing. This isn't rocket science. Like you can defend all you want. It doesn't matter if you can't score goals.
No,
but again, I digress.
But I think Barca, as much as I hate saying this, I feel like they're going to put it together. Last year they got knocked out, and
that's right.
And they won La Liga, but in Europe they sucked, which I thought was really interesting. I don't really know how that worked, but I expected them to do a lot better, and I think they will this season. So I just hope they don't win it all. I hope they don't get all that far. I hope Real Madrid knocks them out if they face off against each other in the knockout stages. But they're a pretty good team. They're definitely in that second tier, like you said, Christian. So.
the X factor for me on Barca right now is Ferran Torres if he gets more time.
Yeah,
I'm interested.
he's never got enough minutes there.
He well, I know Ricardo just gave a little like, shaking of the head.
Any Barca player, just no.
He's never minutes ever.
I was gonna say not even at City. I don't think he did either.
Yeah, no, he. But right now, in the La Liga season, you want to guess his expected goals per 90?
I don't know.
I actually don't know.
2.13.
What?
He's only played 127 minutes this season. 3 goals.
Okay, well, he had the free kick. He scored the free kick,
right?
The first one in since Messi left, which is crazy. But
no,
I didn't know that was even a stat. But it's really crazy to think about.
Yeah, no, I don't know if maybe like they shift him out to where Dembele used to play.
That makes sense.
It would be
on the right.
Ferran Torres already kind of like they kind of play him like that in the Spanish national team, so I don't think it would be like that drastic of a change for him. But I just don't. I don't know why Xavi's holding Ferran Torres hostage. That's what I'm wondering. I don't know. Maybe he needs to come to a real club like Real Madrid. But
no, never a crossover ever like that. Like, I hate seeing that. I know it's happened in the past, and I just don't want it to happen again. I don't want to.
There would be hell. There would be hell.
There would be, yeah. I mean,
there would be hell.
Figo did it, like
yeah. Oh my God, the legendary Figo.
You can't do it.
You're gonna complain about Figo?
No, I'm just saying the crossover, like to rivals.
The backlash. Ricardo's just talking about the backlash.
You can't do that. Who in their right mind does that?
But
you can't play
Ricardo,
for both. It's one or the other.
Ricardo, we're not staying safe. It's a new age.
Yeah, I mean, you're not in the thick of the fire. I mean, who cares? I mean, like you have to deal with the backlash.
I don't care. I still don't want to see it.
He would, and by the way, that's just throwing all the football out the window because he would absolutely not fit on Real Madrid. But
I wouldn't.
I was just half-assing.
Be a good backup.
He would be a great backup.
No, we're
just like he is right now. So I think we're pretty. I think it's clear. Barca first, Porto second. Are we in consensus with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I like Shakhtar. I'm just gonna talking about bold predictions here. I don't care who's on the team. Give me Shakhtar in second. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Do I care? No.
It's not that outrageous. It's really not. Especially in Europe. So.
And who's the last team? Like I said, them.
Antwerp.
I mean, not that nuts. Where even is that?
That's in Belgium.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Never mind.
Wow.
Oh, they have Alderweireld. Oh, never mind. Wait, they have Alderweireld?
I was gonna say, didn't they win?
My mind's gonna change.
Yeah, with that crazy goal.
Yeah, that's what it was. I remember seeing like a clip of it.
There was like 4 teams in the race on the final day or something like that.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. No, Antwerp right now at the start of the Belgian Pro League season, they are 5th on the table. But I mean, I'm pretty sure they retained most of their guys. I don't think they lost a lot of people. But I have to go back and check. But I think, like Jacob said, I think it's clear they're 4th in this group.
Yeah.
But so moving on from that, I mean, I think we've discussed in length our dark horses. I don't think we need to make a separate segment for that. Yeah. But let's just move on. Let's skip the knockout stages. Let's just we're running an hour 20. Let's just pick our winners. Let's pick our Champions League winners. Bias is out the window.
Yeah.
You have to worry about biases. Me and Christian's teams aren't in the damn thing. Actually, no. Yeah, well, you don't want City to win. I don't really care.
Well, I'm sure Christian's rooting for Milan.
I'm rooting for Inter.
Oh, of course you are.
It's blue.
Blue. It's blue.
It's blue and black.
Best team in Italy.
Jacob loves PSG.
I love Mbappe, even though
He loves Napoli. He loves
I used to love
Copenhagen.
him, but that's a whole different story.
I like that. I like Napoli when they had Ancelotti, and then Sarri before that.
Maurizio.
Yeah. All right,
Smoking a
Pochettino.
cigar on the
Watch
side.
Sigs, no Sigs only. No,
Sorry,
cigars.
Stiggs. Yes.
We couldn't do that in London, unfortunately. So as soon as he got back to Italy, right back to the Marlboros or whatever. I have no idea what they smoke in Italy. So
Marlboro.
I have no. I mean, I am no expert, so I have no idea what the hell he's.
I don't know how that man's not dead, but whatever. Besides the point.
He's obviously got lungs stronger than I don't know.
Something.
Yeah.
I guess let's start with you, Jacob, since you were just talking. Who's your Champions League winner?
No.
And no, let's make it even more interesting.
Oh, okay.
Let's predict the final, and let's predict the
score.
The score.
Oh my god! All right.
Wow.
Wasn't ready for that.
No, okay. We don't.
No. I'll do it.
Let's pick the score.
Let's do it.
Okay, score.
All right. You know what? I'm going to pick Inter to win the Champions League. I think got there last year, couldn't capitalize. I feel like we've seen that in recent years. Certain teams, like they lose in the final, then they come back and they win it. Liverpool did that. Man City did that recently. I think it's a real thing, and I think that they're more than good enough to do it. And I'm going to pick them to be see, this is the hard part.
You have to find the bracket.
Now I'm just coming up with it in my head. I'm saying rematch of last year, and they beat PSG. Excuse me, not PSG. PSG's not going to sniff the final. They're going to beat Manchester City 2-1.
Imagine the script plays out like that. There's no way.
Well, I mean,
and remember, you know where
crazier things have happened,
is, right?
Yeah, that's true.
The final's at Wembley, isn't it? That would be something if City loses in England.
I didn't even know that, but I mean, yippee!
England's lost a big game at their own place before.
Yeah, I mean, think about the England national team. They lose plenty of big games, so I mean, City's different. So, but just don't get Saka, Rashford, and Sancho to have kick penalties, and they'll be fine.
Christian, how about you?
Oh man, this is tough. I originally at one point during the summer said Bayern. I'm gonna stick with it. I think Bayern wins the Champions League. I know they're a little vulnerable, but they've made some good signings. Harry Kane's finally getting a trophy. It's about time. Are we
sure? Are we sure that's a guarantee?
I didn't say
Bayern
it was
barely.
That's why I picked it.
Here's the Thomas Tuchel agenda.
I mean, they barely won the damn league last year.
Yeah,
they made some good signings. I know they're a little vulnerable, but I don't think City wins it again. I think they're going to have some injuries. They've already had a couple. It's hard only a couple teams in the history of the Champions League have won back-to-back. I mean, Real Madrid's one of them. I saw it today on my timeline. There was another club that's won it back-to-back. I think Bayern beats Real Madrid at Wembley.
Wow.
3-2.
No.
And Kane scores a brace.
I mean, if you're Ancelotti, I mean, forget having to leave for Brazil. You might as well just resign out of embarrassment. But I mean, somehow Tuchel beat Guardiola, which I still don't understand how that was possible. But
Timo Werner was impactful that day, and so was Kai Havertz.
Yeah, that was the last damn good thing he ever did in his stupid career. Arsenal, thank God, thank you, Arsenal. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for taking him off our hands. Thank you. I don't say thank you and Arsenal in the same sentence a lot, but thank you very much. Your deed is greatly appreciated. Thank you for all of that money that we're going to waste.
Christian, Ricardo, and I can't wait to see him live next month. Him and Timo Werner.
Right. Your eyes are going to hurt.
Well, we get to see Captain. What's his name? Captain Italy.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about undeserved nicknames as far as Captain America. God Almighty.
LeBron James of soccer.
He's not even like he's like the Chris Duhon of soccer.
Oh. Never thought that name would come up in this podcast, but here we are.
I was doing the Immaculate Grid. That's what you could thank that for.
At least we'll see your guy Ilkay Gundogan live.
See that? Now that's a man worth the price of admission.
Who somehow can't perform for the German national team, but will be a god at club level for the rest of his career. All right. Got Christian. We got Bayern beating Madrid. That's sad, but Ricardo, please lift my spirits.
I don't know if I can.
Oh, no.
Oh,
I don't know.
The drama. Wow, I didn't know you were in a soap opera.
No, the writer's strike's going on. We can't. We're in solidarity of SAG-AFTRA.
We're not getting paid. I mean, we're not a part of SAG.
No, but I think City's going to repeat. I think they're going to do it again. They're just that good.
yeah, they are.
Like,
They are.
I just when you have Haaland, I mean, and that team just in general, Haaland especially, I mean, that dude's going to score so many goals every single season for them. So,
And don't forget, if Haaland gets hurt, they have Julian Alvarez is the
Ballon d'Or
nominee. What the heck? I didn't get to rant about that, and I apologize for cutting you off, Ricardo. But how the hell is this guy a Ballon d'Or nominee? I mean, can someone please explain it to me?
Hey,
Because he breathed next to Messi? Is that why?
pretty much, yeah.
Was
Did he
Ilkay
win the World
Gundogan
Cup?
even up for the Ballon d'Or?
I don't. I would hope so.
I have a bad feeling he wasn't.
Wait,
That's
who?
not. Was Ilkay Gundogan even up for the Ballon
Oh,
d'Or?
I doubt it.
And that's a disgrace.
Well, speaking of Man City, though, you got to see how the midfield plays. It's a lot different now. We're talking about Gundogan, and we're joking about Gundogan, but totally different play style from Kovacic, who's now
Who has more? They kind of have similar injury history.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Different players, but yeah. Point being,
De
they're
Bruyne
different
will come back at
profiles.
some point.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think they're going to beat Real. I'll say 3-1.
3-1.
I can see the pain in your eyes, Ricardo.
It pains me to say that, but like this just reminds me of when City didn't have Haaland like before him. They were playing like false nine, and I think it's going to be kind of a similar case with Real. We don't really have a striker, so like a number 9. So I think it'll catch up eventually. And honestly, I wouldn't even be shocked if Real didn't make to the final. But I mean, they've been there before, so. The other thing is they haven't lost a final. So maybe I'm just...
You're saving yourself.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I just think City's just that good. So I think regardless, City's going to make it. And even if it's not against Real, they're going to win it. So that's my take.
Well, guess what? Real Madrid is not in my final either. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna make it that far. Here's my other. It doesn't have anything to do with my final, but I don't think any team from Group F is making the final. I think they just beat themselves up too much and they get knocked out. So that's my other take from that. But my final, I've got Bayern.
Okay.
And they're gonna face and beat the Arsenal.
Wow.
Okay. I like that.
You know, part of me thought about putting Arsenal in the final, but I couldn't get over my bias, so I just couldn't.
If Arsenal, now here's what will really intrigue me this season: consistent number 9 play. If they have consistent number 9 play, they can beat Bayern. But
your guy is ripping it up right now.
My guy Fuller and Balogun.
No.
My guy.
No. Your guy Eddie Nketiah
just scored his first goal for Monaco.
Your guy Eddie Nketiah is having a pretty solid start to the season.
My guy.
Yeah.
No, Nketiah has played solidly. We'll see. Jesus
to me is much better than him, and I take Jesus over Nketiah.
Yeah, I mean they're different players.
They are, but I mean, if you tell me I have to pick one, I'm picking Jesus. You know. But
I probably lean that way too, but
9 times out of 10. But
We'll see how Trossard plays as well.
I'm not worried about who the goalie's going to be. That's my biggest concern with Arsenal.
did you guys see the links for Ramsdale to Bayern?
Yeah,
did,
I think it's
yeah.
BS.
I agree. Yeah.
He's
I
okay.
I don't even rate Ramsdale that high.
I think he's
Bayern
not
is pretty
bad.
good. I actually think he's the better
my thing is like it's one game. Like it's not the end. Like everyone's panicking. Like he got benched. He's gonna get sold or whatever.
I think he's gotten a raw deal, Ramsdale, to be quite honest. I mean, they were second last year. I mean, he certainly played a part in that. I think he's developed really well, and I think that for them to sign another goalkeeper who's supposed to be competing with them is tough. It's a tough blow. No, I'm sorry, it is. I don't think that's fair.
No, you're right.
I think it's stupid mind games by Arteta.
Another guy I can't stand, by the way. Arteta.
Excuse Magoo.
Yeah, I agree.
Why'd you drop Kai Havertz? Is it because he's not playing well? No. What are you crazy? No. It's we don't want to rotate our players. Yeah, right. Give me a break. But anyway.
Yeah. So did I say the final? I said 2-1. Final score. Bayern over Arsenal, with Harry Kane lifting his first trophy in England. How about that?
Then that'd be some anticlimactic stuff right there. And don't forget, he played in Wembley when Spurs didn't have their own arena, didn't have their own stadium.
Yep. Right.
Played plenty of games there.
You wonder how many fans who hate Arsenal will be there just for Harry Kane. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
But so quickly going around, Christian, you also had Bayern, right? So we both had Bayern. Jacob, you had
Inter. I got Inter.
That's right. And Ricardo had Man City.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see how this plays out. First match day is tomorrow. Yeah, another match day on Wednesday. And then we'll have our reactions. Europa League and Europa Conference League play also start with my Brighton squad in the Europa League. I believe they start off against Marseille.
Marseille, right?
Yeah, Marseille.
Who's Liverpool play?
Sorry,
I don't even know what it stands for, but it's LASK. Alexis McAllister, I think, is playing his brother. I think that's.
Yeah, I remember.
No.
Really, really cool.
That's so random.
Let's go, younger brother McAllister.
Excuse me. Brighton's playing Athens.
AEK Athens.
Georgia?
Yes, Athens, Georgia. Yes, they're facing the Georgia Bulldogs. They'll blow them out. The Zerbi ball will destroy the Georgia Bulldogs men's soccer team.
Kirby Smart versus Roberto De
Zerbi. By the way, I want to bring this up real quick. Jacob was trying to roast me last night, Ricardo. He was like, "Oh, wait until the Zerbi leaves for Real Madrid," forgetting I was a Madrid supporter. I'm like, "That's great." Are you kidding me?
He's gonna go to some Italian team when they fire their manager. So
I hope he comes to Real. Hopefully, that'd be nice.
What if he went to Juventus?
I'd be annoyed.
I'd be very depressed.
Allegri's gonna be there for
ever.
Allegri
the immediate future, at least. They're actually off to a good start.
They are.
When Mourinho loses his mind, when they lose 3 games in a row and he gets fired and he blames it all on the weather in Italy, they'll call De Zerbi and he'll be like, it's time to go home.
No, come to Real. Don't worry.
Oh, I believe he will too.
Hey, that'd be best case if he leaves, but
they just got to ante up.
Please stay at Brighton. Please win the Europa League.
Please come to Chelsea when we fire Pochettino.
Yeah, and then you're gonna fire him after a year.
Fine.
I guess he's okay with it then.
Knowing him, knowing Chelsea, if he had De Zerbi, he'd win the Champions League. We come in 7th in the Premier League, and then he'd be gone.
What?
The Chelsea way.
Yeah. The Bowley way. It's Todd Bowley.
We have multiple Premier League titles in this century. You know who doesn't? Liverpool. But no, yes. I know you've won the Champions League more. I know what you're going to come back with.
Oh, you took the words right out of my mouth. Perfect.
I know, because I know how you operate. Just don't forget 2014, Chelsea, Liverpool.
All right, let's move on.
There's a banana peel. There's a banana peel
That hurts.
on the pitch.
Don't remind
Oh
me.
no! It feels great. Demba Ba. If he did nothing else, just like Kai Havertz, if he did nothing else, that moment alone. But you know what? I'll stop tormenting Christian.
That sounds good. Before we end this episode, it's been a great debut episode. We can't wait to keep talking. Not just Champions League. This isn't going to be exclusively Champions League. We just so happen to be releasing our first episode before the beginning of this Champions League season, so why not talk Champions League? But before we hop off, this is a last-minute segment. I just kind of thought about seeing Christian's X handle. And Christian, have you placed or are you thinking about any bets for this Champions League fixture?
I actually made a video for Sports Grid.
Oh, okay. So we'll wait for that because that takes priority.
I have for the video, just to preview it. I have 2 teams that I have qualifying at plus money.
Only 2?
That's all I gave out. I can only do a very long video, Jacob.
Miss me.
I don't know. I thought with your history, I thought there'd be 10, but
I'm sure Christian will have a lot.
Remember,
more.
this is the guy that said 30 seconds ago he's going to stop tormenting me.
Oh, I guess I told a white lie.
No, we should have prefaced. Christian is I'm not going to say degenerate gambler, but he's a big time gambler. He's a high roller.
Yeah.
So
let's put it that way.
Yeah, so he's always betting soccer and Champions League. I'm sure we'll get more of his inputs as the season progresses.
And
it's not just soccer. It's not just soccer.
Oh no, but it's a big part. It's
Every
a big part.
sport.
I mean, if you really want to check my plays out, check the handle.
There you go.
My X
plug.
handle.
Free plugs. All right, guys. This was a lot of fun. I'm excited to do this for the future. I don't know how to end this. I'm kind of dragging on. Any final comments?
Check us out on YouTube.
Yes,
Yeah.
YouTube, Spotify, hopefully
Go Chelsea. That's my final thought.
Hala Madrid, that's what I'll say.
Hala Madrid. Go Brighton.
At Chelsea, you'll never walk alone. I'm just gonna put that out.
Oh, what a dig!
You always will.
Wow,
What
that
a
hurt.
dig! Wow, that
That's
sure
why
got Christian.
the reason Jude Bellingham didn't go to Liverpool is because he didn't want to walk alone.
Now he's
Oh,
standing
so
on
mad.
the
Gotcha.
He's so mad. He's so mad.
See, that's money well spent.
Hey, Jude.
That's money well spent.
Hey,
bro.
Jude.
Can you believe Jude Bellingham went for cheaper than Moises Caicedo?
Do you know he also went cheaper than Enzo Fernandez?
All right.
Yeah, I thought we were
enough for
ending
this
it.
episode. Yeah.
No, we're not getting into this.
That's enough for today. Guys, thanks so much. Can't wait to keep going. Any other final comments from anyone other than Jacob?
Check out our next episode, which will be hopefully.
Oh,
sometime
right. That's what we were talking about. Yes.
Plug.
Yes. We got the YouTube started up, Spotify, and hopefully we get it going on Apple Podcasts. I'm trying to set that up, but that's a little more tricky. But definitely YouTube, Spotify. I'll be sure to include all our handles for X or Instagram, whatever, below. And hope you keep watching. Guys, Hala Madrid.
Peace. Hala Madrid.
Go
Peace out.
Chelsea.